Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to make a tissue box with a money roll. This is just a really fun DIY way to give cash for a holiday. The one in this video today will be a birthday tissue box. And basically when the tissue is taken out, the person receiving the gift can pull and have a lot of fun pulling cash out of this box, and it can keep going and going. In the video I show you today, I'll show you how I'm integrating quotes about birthdays into the money roll just to make it a little bit more fun. And we'll take a look at how to put this together today. Let's take a look at the supplies. You've got to have your box of Kleenex. I use this brand and that's what fits with my printables. You'll find that in the link below. I've got each side of the box, the top and the bottom. You'll find the pieces that attach to the money, the pull here tag. There are quotes that also are the width size of the money. Of course, you need the money, however many dollars or $5 bills or $10 bills. I've got markers. You'll see how I kind of decorate my printables just a little. That's optional. Scissors to cut out the printables, pencil, scotch tape to tape the money together, double-sided tape to get those printables onto the Kleenex box, and some tissue paper. That's what's going to kind of help hold that pull tab up and give a little bit of decorative flair to the money gift. First, you've got to cover the sides of the Kleenex boxes, which I'm going to do with these printables that I'm cutting out here. You can find these free on my blog. If you look in the link below, I'll take you to this blog post. You can print those and just cut those out. Again, they fit this Kleenex size box. Believe it or not, different brands have different sizes of boxes. But cut those out and then you'll be ready to decorate. So you can see here how each side of the box has a printable cutout. I've also got the squares that can go on the bottom, like you see here, and then the top, we'll have to cut the hole for the top where the money roll comes out. And then I've got all of these quotes. I may not use them all, and so you could kind of cut only the ones you wanted. They're laid out on the papers just to make efficient use of the space, so there's kind of some of those on each of the pages. And then you'll see here too how this pull tab is going to connect to the money. That's what pokes out at the top of the Kleenex roll, the Kleenex box, for your money roll. And you can just kind of alternate the dollars with these poems, or not poems, I'm sorry, quotes. Here you see me decorating my printables before I put them onto the Kleenex box. I just think it's fun to add polka dots and different colors. Just kind of makes it feel a little bit more DIY and adds a little bit of color. So I'm getting my adhesive onto my cutouts so that I can start decorating each side of the Kleenex box. And I'm doing this using double-sided tape. You could use a glue stick. And as I put this on, I'm putting the adhesive directly onto the printable, and then I am pressing the printable onto the Kleenex box. If you wanted, you could put the double-sided tape directly onto the tissue box and then put the printable onto that. I do it both ways. I haven't found one way to work better than the other, but do be careful when you put that printable on, because once you do, it's really hard to get it off. Here you see I kind of didn't have it exactly straight. It's still going to look great. I'm not redoing it. I'm not reprinting it. Things don't have to be perfect. It's really fun, and it's all about the experience of pulling the money roll out of the box. So as I do this, I wrap up the sides, and it's time to get the top and the bottom on. And this is where it's kind of funny, because you would think that the bottom has a blank one because there's a blank square and a decorative square. The bottom of the Kleenex box actually is where you're going to put your decorative square, because the top you're going to cut a big hole out of, because of course that's where you need your money roll to come out of. So as we get ready here to do our top, what we need to do is first we need to pull this tab out of your Kleenex box, and then we're just going to set it on the square that's going on the top, the one that was blank that we added some polka dots to. And we're just going to trace around that. Now, we're not going to trace the notch. It's not an exact oval. We want to really turn it into an oval. And then we're going to cut that out. Now, you might want to do it on the back side. It's a lot easier. When I cut this now, I just need to cut on the outside of the line because you don't want your line to show. If you were to trace that on the backside, you wouldn't even have to worry about that. And then once you get that oval cut out, you can just get that adhesive on each side of that top piece and get that pressed down right around that hole, that oval opening of the top of your tissue box. Now the plastic is still in here, this plastic that you pull your tissue through, and it's better to get rid of that because that money roll can get caught up in it. So just take your scissors and work your way around that opening to get that plastic removed. Okay, so once we get this plastic cut around the opening of our money roll tissue box, it's time to remove the tissues because we're going to be putting something a little bit more exciting in this birthday box than Kleenex. So as you're pulling the tissue out, you just want to get kind of little stacks at a time. You can't pull everything out at once, so just kind of get your fingers in there under maybe 20 or 30 tissues and then pull those out. I'm getting a little anxious here trying to pull too much out at once, so I'm trying to undo what I did, because if you yank too hard, you will end up ripping the top. It's real easy to do, just go little by little. Before we start making our money roll, I'm taking just a couple minutes to add polka dots to all of my birthday quotes. Those are part of the printable package that was free in my blog posting. Time to start to make our money roll. We're using our Scotch tape, our dollar bills or $5 bills or whatever dollar bills you want to use, and our quotes, and we are going to start taping them together. And you see here, I'm just putting these $2 bills directly next to each other. I'm not overlapping them. They're just flush against their edges. And I'm taping. You don't necessarily have to tape end to end on the dollar bill. Just have enough tape that it will actually stay. And you can decide if you are going to use quotes, the quotes in my printable package, or even if you have your own notes that are the same kind of size as my quotes. That's fun too. It's very personal. You can decide how you want to alternate those. It doesn't need to be exact. I kind of went for every $2 to $3 bills, I put a quote in, and it just makes that dollar roll longer, which is really fun when they're pulling the dollar roll. Then a lot of times they'll stop and read the quote, and then they keep rolling, and then they stop and read the quote or the note, and it just kind of extends the fun, and it makes the money roll a little bit more personal. The process of putting the money roll together really goes fast once you get started. I get mine done in probably about 5 minutes or less. Once you get all of the pieces taped together, you just start on one end and you start to roll it. And as you're doing this, you want to keep it pretty tight and make sure that your dollar bills, the sides, are staying lined up. You don't want it to, sometimes like when you roll something, the sides don't stay aligned. Now, when I started editing this video, I realized that I didn't actually video record rolling the money for my birthday money roll tissue box. And so I had to pull this tiny segment of the rolling part from my graduation money box video that I did before. But it's the exact same thing. It just has different, instead of quotes about a birthday, my graduation one has quotes kind of about graduation and moving on. So here you see now I'm back to my birthday roll because I have the right pull tab, and you see what it's like once you get that rolled and you're pulling it up, kind of what that user will experience. And you'll see here we come to our first comment or quote about birthdays and celebrations. I think it turned out really cute. I hope you found it helpful to see how to put one of these together. And again, if you wouldn't mind taking just a second, if you found it to be helpful at all, take a minute to like my video. And I'd love it if you subscribe, because I do a lot of fun DIY stuff that I'm starting to get captured on my YouTube channel and on my blog, which is linked below as well. Now here you see, once we get that all rolled up, we drop it into the box. Just like that. It was that simple. We drop it in, kind of get our pull tab pulled up. You don't want them to see the money, so the money should be below the line. And then you have to have something to hold that pull tab forward. And I use tissue paper. And so I think one piece is enough. Here I use two. All you're really trying to do is remember that hole to the opening of the Kleenex box is kind of big. And you just need to keep it tight enough and full enough for that pull tab to stay up. Now, as you're watching someone open your gift, you probably will want to tell them, oh, you can pull that tissue out. It'll usually just come out on their own, but it's kind of hard once the money roll starts coming out. The tissue can actually be in the way.